Good morning, Feminine Badasses, and welcome to our second vlog. The first question I wanted to get into was from Della. What podcast do I listen to and some of my favorite books? So the two podcasts I really like right now are Daniel Vitalis and Katie Bowman. Daniel Vitalis is the founder of Rewild Yourself, and he has an awesome podcast with some really insightful and intelligent guests. Like Erwan LaCour, Ido Partel, Katie Bowman, Kim Manami, and Arthur Haynes, just to name a few. But what's really cool about this podcast in particular is they're saying things that aren't really being said right now in the fitness industry. It's more about becoming less human and more human in the sense of how we were meant to be. So lots of like wild foods, natural movement. Kim Manami is a sex therapist, so she talks about embracing your sexuality, which I am currently loving because it's something I've always had a hard time with, and it's part of becoming a feminine badass is owning your sexuality and your sexual essence, and that there's nothing to be shameful in that. So I think that's really powerful and a message that's just not really out there. And but just as a disclaimer, she's very comfortable with the human anatomy and sex, so there's really no filter. She's very unapologetic, and I love that about her, but some of you may not, so check it out. It may not be for you, but I'm totally digging her right now. I think she's awesome. Katie Bowman's podcast is really insightful in the sense that she is a wonderful scientist, but she breaks down science and how to realign the body and to move in a natural way, the way we were meant to, under force and load, in a very simple way for you to understand. Like, I function in my left hemisphere. I am not a science person at all, and I'm really loving her stuff, and I have tons of aha moments when I read her stuff. And speaking of favorite books, Move Your DNA, awesome book, highly recommend it to all of you ladies. So anyway, and the other book I'm reading is Women Who Run with the Wolves. So it's Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype, and of course, I mean, it's totally with the feminine badass theme, and something, you know, Greek mythology has always resonated with me. So I am really stoked. I've just started getting into it, so I'm really excited to dabble into this a little bit more. So those are the two podcasts that I'm into. Katie also has a bunch of free information on her website. So does Daniel. So go check out their websites as well, and you can get some articles and videos. They both have a ton of good content. Julie was asking about fitness trends and what I have embraced and replaced with so that I can be where I am today, which is being comfortable in my own skin. So what have I let go of? So first off, I want to say that everything that has gotten me to where I am today, I am grateful for. I have no regrets, and that I haven't really let go of anything 100%, because there's bits and pieces of every little experience that has helped me to become a better person. One thing that I have actively done, that I've really taken charge of, is what I allow into my space. So I stopped my fitness page. I noticed that I was starting to become very competitive with other women. I was comparing my likes to other likes. I was mad because, oh, well, my message is more authentic than her message, and why is she more popular? And it was such shit. I was like, come on, this is not who you are. So I said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not going to do the fitness thing anymore, or the fitness page on social media. And I created this group so that I could still have that sisterhood, but now I feel like I have more clarity behind my message and who I am, and because I'm not wrapped up in that competition and comparison. And I've also actively stopped following certain people that don't serve me. You know, whether or not I know them personally, whether or not they're a good person, it was how their messages made me feel. And if it didn't make me feel good about myself, or it didn't inspire me, I'm like, that was it, moved on from it. And it was actually harder than it sounds to do that, to go through that process, but it's probably been the biggest impact for me mentally. So just reclaiming my space, this is all mine. And then if there was something that just, again, was negative, that didn't sit right with me, that made me feel less of a person, not my shit. Not my shit. If they're constantly typing controversial stuff or being negative or putting other people down, not my shit. Let it go right by. I don't want it. So I got rid of that, and that's been really helpful. So those are things that I've let go of. Nutrition has changed dramatically for me. I was talking to Hannah the other day about this. I have become more of what I call a mindful eater versus just looking at food scientifically or breaking down macros, which I have done for bikini competitions and all that. I look at food as food. And I know that doesn't sound sexy. It might sound maybe too easy. But food is food. And the man-made food stuff, those are substitutes of food. So for me, I've started to view food as what's going to nourish my body, what's going to optimize the way that I can function as a human being, as a woman, the best. And so for me, it's become more about being mindful of where I'm getting my food. So eating locally, incorporating more plant food, wild foods, and I'm not talking about just conventional cucumbers and tomatoes. I mean more local plants, wild herbs into my nutrition. I stopped looking at food as diets and movement as exercise. To me, I've replaced those words with movement and nourishment instead of exercise and diet. My training has changed dramatically. I entered the fitness industry 10 years ago having no idea, and a total amateur trainer. But I wanted to change the way my body looked. And so for years I chased after that. And now I'm not chasing it anymore. Now it's, do I want to look good? Hell yeah. Who doesn't, right? But now my training is more about skill setting, skill developing, refining, preventing injury, lowering my risk for when I am out and about with my son, or hiking, or going on some kind of grand adventure. So it's just all about refinement. And it's fun too, just to move more. So I focus more on that, and I've also viewed movement as a lifestyle, in a way it's a tangible connection to explore life. Movement is living to me. So we've gotten rid of our furniture, and just finding ways to move more throughout the day versus just bouts of exercise. So that shift in movement has been huge. Yes, I still train 3 days a week. Again, working on skill building. I still do things like hip thrusts and all that stuff. But the intention is different. The way my body looks is a byproduct of that. And I'm not saying that you guys need to do that. You guys still need to go through your process and figure out this on your own. I went through I was a physique competitor. Like I went through that. Damn it. But I'm where I am now because of that, if that makes sense. So I view food as nourishment, and I view exercise as a way to move. And by making this shift, it's allowed me to love myself, because I now realize I am so much more than this body. But I need to nourish it in order to move through life and to keep the quality of life that I want for myself. So in order to do that, I need to feed it, but I'm grateful for the food that I do feed it with, and that I need to move, and I am grateful for the ability to move. So I would say the biggest practice for me now is the gratitude and the mindfulness of it all. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And it may be hard for you guys to comprehend that, and I respect that. But it's an accumulation of my story. Okay, this is my story and where I am now today, and my hope is that I can help other women to become their own feminine badass, to embrace their femininity, to move well through life, to nourish their body with what earth has to offer you, and to be grateful for that nourishment. That it's balanced, that it's giving and receiving instead of constantly taking in this excessiveness. You know, like in this bodybuilding world I was in, it just seems so excessive. It seems so unnecessary. You know, why do I need all this muscle? Yeah, it's sexy, it's cool, it's a great challenge. But at the end of the day, it wasn't useful to me or to anybody else. And it wasn't a practice of gratitude or balance, you know? So I take what I need now, not what I want. I'm just not excessive. I'm not excessive with my training. I'm not excessive with my food. It's more about living in harmony and in balance with your surroundings, with your landscaping, with your local farmers, with your people, with your tribe. That's really, to me, that's been the answer, and it's taken me a while to get there. But so it's some deep stuff. Anyway, I love you all so much, and I hope this opens up some dialogue in our group, because I know it might be some things that maybe you don't agree with, maybe you want me to go more in length about. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Have a wonderful day.